Plaintiff Tawana Williams and her daughter Diana Saunders say the defendant is Tawana's aunt, and after Tawana's father became ill, the defendant tricked him into going to a nursing home, and she left him there for 2 years. Tawana is suing her aunt for stolen money and emotional distress. Defendant Mary Corbett and her husband William insist Mary had to step in and care for her ailing brother because Tawana neglected to do so. Mary's countersuing for emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Mary Sue Corbett was one of my favorite aunts up until 2010. My father had a stroke. He's paralyzed on his left side. He can't walk. He has speech impairment. And my mom passed away in 2016. I took care of her till she passed away. My mom's dying wish was that I don't let my dad go into the nursing home, and I made her a promise. After my mom passed away, my aunt Mary Sue, she came over like a vulture to get my dad.
This was when, in 2016?
Yes. And she got my dad. She told him it was going to be for 3 months in rehab. When she put him in rehab, she left him in there for over 2 years. She never did go back and get him out or none of that.
Where were you at during this time?
At that time, me and my dad was having problems. We wasn't getting along.
Okay.
And he feel his sister, that's his sister, you know, she could do no wrong. He trusts her, which I understand that. That being said, I gave up my life. I took care of my dad. I took my dad out of the nursing home, brought him to my 1-bedroom apartment. I stopped working. I stopped doing everything to take care of my dad.
In 2018?
In 2019.
19.
Everything was fine. I was told that I can get more services for my dad by putting everything in his name because he was a senior citizen. I did that. When I did that, he got low-income housing. He had a Section 8 certificate. They gave him a Section 8 certificate. I went out and found us a place for a 2-bedroom. I became his live-in aide, so my income didn't matter. So, with that being said, Mary Sue was his payee.
How did that come about? Or because you all weren't getting along when he got his Social Security?
Yes, I guess it's like he's the dad and I'm the daughter. So he didn't feel that I had the right to tell him what he should and shouldn't be doing.
Understood.
So that's why it was a back and forth thing with the payee.
Let me get some background from your aunt and then we'll get back to further. Ma'am?
Well, Your Honor, this is my niece Tawana, which is my brother's daughter. My brother became ill in 2010, and he went to a nursing home, which he stayed in that nursing home until...
Who placed him there?
He went there from the hospital because they was doing the therapy, rehab. But then he went to their house. Her mother, they had a house. They lived in another.
How long did he stay there in the rehab?
He stayed in the rehab probably about a year. A year.
Would they have allowed him to leave earlier than that?
Yes. No one out of the family, which is Tawana and her mother and her brothers and them, got him out the nursing home. They left him in the nursing home. And when he did get out, he went to the house, and he sit over there with very little care. And
went to whose house?
He went to the daughter and the mother, and
they were all staying together.
They was all staying together, and they begin to. I knew that he needed some help, assistant help, and he could get help like from from SSI Medicare or whatever. So after they got him out, he sit over there for a whole year with no kind of help. He would call me and tell me that he need this from the store. Would I go get it? I would go shopping for this man when he had 3 grown children.
So for that, you think they abandoned him in the house? What are you saying they did wrong taking care of him? Because he called you to go to the store for him? That makes you think that they were being neglectful? I'm missing something.
They wasn't helping him into...
They weren't helping him go to the store that one time when he called you?
No, they wasn't helping him with the home care.
Tell me what he said they weren't doing for him, man.
They wasn't bathing him. They wasn't
He
bathing.
told you that?
Huh?
He told you that?
That's what he told me. He told me.
And how long did you let him stay under that condition where he wasn't getting bathed?
That's when I told him, I said, you can get SSI.
What that got to do with bathing? I thought your concern was bathing. You done switched over from the bathing to the money.
I thought you said, no.
He said, baby, they ain't bathing me no more. They ain't washing me. She say, well, you know you can get that SSI and you can throw me a little of it when you get it. Baby, I'm calling you about getting washed up. What you talking about? All right, that's a beautiful thing. I'm going to make sure that happens. In the meantime, when that SSI come and how much is it going to be? Because if it's the right amount, you can move over here with me. You tell me what happened.
Well, Judge, he was in the house with all of them, and they was not giving him support. That's when I told him, I said, you can get SSI.
What that got to do with bathing? I thought your concern was bathing. You done switched over from the bathing to the money. Baby, I'm calling you about getting washed up. What you talking about? All right, that's a beautiful thing. I'm going to make sure that happens. In the meantime, when that SSI come and how much is it going to be? Because if it's the right amount, you can move over here with me.
Defendant Mary Corbett and her husband William are being sued by their niece, who claims Mary stole stimulus money from her ailing father.
What do you want to say,
Excuse
man?
me, Honor. During this, when he had first, the reason why he had went, I was his payee at the time. I stayed around the corner. I'm his granddaughter, Deanna.
Okay. What's your name? Stay in it.
Deanna Saunders. Deanna Saunders.
All right, go ahead.
So I only became the payee because my grandma and my mom, they were working. They didn't have the time, like majority of the time I sit with him. My granny stayed right around the corner during this time. So he was in rehab. He was in rehab, but he was supposed to get out. At this time, me and her, we had switched from me being a payee to her because she felt like she can do a better job. And at this time, not my mom, my auntie.
Your aunt?
She became a payee. He ended up going to rehab. He was supposed to get out of rehab. She left him in there. She never got him out. So then they got to calling my mom because he had gave them my mom number. They called her. So then.
When did she become payee?
I was a payee.
What
was in
year?
21.
When did you start?
January of 21.
And when did your aunt begin?
She was 2019, after I got my dad out of the nursing home. I was his payee in 2019, and then it flip-flopped back because he felt that he needed all his money. So I say in 2020, she was his payee. It was back and forth. It was a battle of me and her being his payee.
A battle?
Yes, back and forth, because my dad feel he's my dad. I'm not supposed to tell him what he should and shouldn't be doing. That's better for him because of his health. So he didn't like that. So he wanted his sister to be his payee again, and she was filling his head up with lies. I became his guardian on the 30th of October of 2020. I became his power of attorney of 2013, July.
We're talking, let's stay with October 20th.
Yes, I became his guardian. Yes, sir.
And conservator as well, taking care of his money?
Yes.
All right. And when did that change?
When he went to the hospital, he had pneumonia, and by her not paying his bills and turning in his documents, his verification of income to his apartment manager in a timely fashion, he lost his Section 8, Your Honor. So he had nowhere else to go but the nursing home because he didn't want to live, he didn't want me.
You never lost your guardianship?
No, sir.
Okay, so you're still the guardian?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I don't see what the struggle is if you're currently the guardian.
My daddy was accusing me of stealing his stimulus payments, all of his stimulus checks. I never received one. and this was we were staying together. I would never take from my dad.
I'm just going with what we have for the law. The law is that you are guardian and you have responsibilities over all of his affairs. So if she interrupted that authority that you have and cost him money as a result, then you as power of attorney and guardian are allowed to collect it. That's what it sounds like we're doing today, is you're attempting to, as guardian, want to collect money that was used by someone else without your permission.
Yes.
All right, that's what it's about here. So tell me what money you're suing, alleging she stole. You're probably using the wrong word, but what do we have? What are you suggesting?
I'm suing Mary Sue Corbett, my aunt, for $3,200 for stimulus payments that my daddy didn't receive, that was direct deposited into an account that she had.
How did she get the account?
They had the IRS. I called the IRS, and the lady told me that her address is the only account that they had on file at that time. So all the stimulus payments went direct deposit to her.
But how does she have a separate account from you as guardian?
Because she was my dad's payee at one point in time. So they still had that on file with the IRS. Now, when they first sent out the first stimulus payment, I got mine. And I told my dad, I said, your sister finna get your stimulus payments. They just sent mine in a check. Yours will probably be on a money card or go direct deposit to a bank. And he said, call her. So I called his sister, and he asked her about stimulus payments. She said she didn't get none of the payments. She kept saying this until all the payments was till they sent all the stimulus out.
Approximately when did she start saying she didn't get any? You said he called her and she said, I didn't get any. What?
I say around
month or what?
Probably January.
January of this year?
2021.
Don't go away. There's more Judge Mathis after this.
I said, Tawana.
Do you want some money when he
No,
died?
no,
and she
no,
said,
no.
no. You keep, I don't want none of that insurance money. You keep it all.
No.
I knew you took it out of his payments. I know you took it from his little bitty Social Security money, and so you decided to spend money on an insurance policy that he can't afford, and then you will be the beneficiary at that.
And still to come.
Everyone in the park loved Shiloh. She's not with us anymore. This is all we have of her. Everyone really loved her, but we don't have her anymore because the defendant's dog, which is a pit bull, killed her. And attacked her not once, but twice.
Over what time frame did it happen?
1 month.
If you or someone you know needs a DNA test, please call 1-888-VERDICT. Visit JudgeMathisTV.com or scan the QR code on your screen.
Are you furious with a friend or family member who owes you money or has wronged you? If you're currently suing or thinking about filing a lawsuit, call 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at JudgeMathisTV.com.
She was his payee. It was back and forth. It was a battle of me and her being his payee.
A battle?
Yes, back and forth, because my dad feel he's my dad. I'm not supposed to tell him what he should and shouldn't be doing because of his health. So he didn't like that. So he wanted his sister to be his payee again, and she was filling his head up with lies.
Defendant Mary Corbett and her husband William are being sued by their niece, who claims Mary stole stimulus money from her ailing father.
Go ahead.
And from the day the stimulus came out till all three came out, he was telling me that I stole all three of his checks because she told him that I received them all. Mary Sue told my dad on the phone, and I heard her tell him that your daughter got all your stimulus checks. I didn't receive
Hear from
nothing.
you, ma'am.
Your Honor, this girl just standing over here telling all kind of stories, lies. When I became my brother Payee in 2020, that's when he had told me that Tawana, which is his daughter, she's not paying the bill. And Your Honor, I have at the address that they was living at, I have the printout of the bills was not getting paid.
What bills are they?
These are the rent bills when they was living in that apartment. And I have all the rent receipts to where I was paying at that address while they was living in that house, and I was her dad payee. He wanted me to be payee because she would not pay the bills. She wasn't the guardian. She was the
said she was.
She was just the payee.
She said she's still currently the guardian.
If she's still the guardian, Judge, how is the nursing?
Don't tell me. Go ahead. How
The
is it
nursing
what?
home that he's in, they are getting his check. They took it from her. They took the check from her.
What do you mean took it from her?
They the payee now. His check goes to the nursing home because Tawana was the payee. But the nursing home told me that she didn't want to cooperate because she owed them.
That's not really a relevant point. The relevant point is what happened to the monies that came from the government, and did you have authority? So I'll allow you to continue with what happened and why did you keep the monies from the stimulus?
The reason I kept the money is because I went to my brother and told him that his policy that I had been paying out of my pocket. I said, well, no, first I said, do you want me to tell Wani that your money came on my card? He said, no. I said, well, I'm going to take it and pay me back for the money that was coming out of my pocket.
No, that's right. Go ahead.
I said, pay me back and then take the rest of the money and pay on your policy. So that's what he agreed.
What was owed to you?
What was owed to me was $730-something.
That's the only money you spent on his behalf? Was an insurance policy?
Right. I was getting my money back, and I was going to take.
I got that. I'm just asking you a question. Is that the only money you spend on his behalf?
Right.
All right. And when did you first get that policy?
The policy, when I first got the policy,
Yes,
was 2014.
All right. At whose request?
His.
Okay. And who was the beneficiary?
Me, Mary Corbett.
Not his children.
No, Honor, because I had asked her. I said, Tawana.
Do you want some money when he
No,
died?
no,
and she
no,
said,
no.
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 You keep, I don't want none of that insurance
No.
money. You keep it all.
No.
I knew you took it out of his payments. I know you took it from his little bitty Social Security money that he gets, his SSI, because he's disabled. And so you decided to spend money on an insurance policy that he can't afford with his little disability check. And then you will be the beneficiary at that.
No, Your Honor, it was not about that. I had asked her that he need a policy in which she take it out. She didn't take it out because I'm the one that, mostly in my family, when something happened, I'm the one that stands up.
Do you have any evidence that he told you to take it out and that you would be the only beneficiary to his money?
Because.
Do you have any evidence, ma'am?
Do I have any evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Okay, I don't believe that. I just don't believe he stayed that angry with his family. That sounds like something very angry, and that sounds like an anger that would have to last for a long time, a deep anger and resentment for his children and his grandchildren. And so he would leave everything to you over his grandchildren, over his children. He must have been mad with all of them for an extended amount of time, because not only did he just do it one day, he did it another day. He thought about it another day. How long has it been? He's thought about it for years and still ain't finished being mad. What y'all do to him? He's still been mad all these years because she's still the beneficiary. You ain't got nothing coming. So he would leave everything to you over his grandchildren, over his children. He must have been mad with all of them for an extended amount of time. He's thought about it for years and still ain't finished being mad. What y'all do to him? He's still been mad all these years because she's still the beneficiary. You ain't got nothing coming.
Defendant Mary Corbett and her husband William are being sued by their niece, who claims Mary stole stimulus money from her ailing father.
What's that?
Your Honor, My father told me he got that policy for his kids. She told my uncle, which is her brother, that is too much money for me to handle. The money would not be just for me, it would be for the rest of my siblings.
Oh, no. Quit lying.
I gave up my life to take care of my dad. And all I want to know is from you, what did I do to you to make you treat me the way you've treated me? Because you sitting over there with a smug grin on your face like it's funny.
Sure is.
When I did everything for my dad, all you do is sit back and collect his money. You didn't go to no doctor's appointments. You did not do none of that. You didn't buy enough food. You gave him food to eat by mouth, and he's not supposed to eat or drink nothing by mouth. You and your husband. So what was you really trying to do? You put your name on there as beneficiary number 1. My mom, Hattie Mae Williams, was number 1, and he said I was number 2. Why would he give you anything and you don't do anything for him? You stay 2 blocks from where he's living at in the nursing home. You don't go see him. You don't do none of that. And you sitting over there laughing, you's a Pinocchio. You's a puppet on a string.
That's his name, Pinocchio. Why you laughing?
Because he don't do nothing. She runs
That's your
the
name,
show.
right?
My name?
Uh-huh.
No.
That's not Pinocchio? Why you calling him?
Judge.
Because he's a puppet on a string.
Oh.
He doesn't, I don't even know why he's
I thought
standing
his name
up
was
there.
Pinocchio. And
I don't even know why he's
over
standing
there
there.
laughing at you.
Because that's what they did when she would call my dad's phone and he's being mean and nasty and obnoxious to me because she's telling him he needs to put me out.
What's your emotional distress? 5,000. What did she do to you?
I have.
No, I'm saying to her. She's asking.
Your Honor,
I know what she did to you.
She's
It's clear.
doing because she's sitting up here lying.
Okay.
I got all this evidence that when she was living.
All I need is one piece of evidence,
Okay.
and that is that he told you you could spend his money on an insurance policy or take money out of his account and give it to yourself based on reimbursing some insurance policy that I haven't seen yet. You have the policy?
Yeah, I had a policy.
Okay, what page?
Oh, you mean the policy where he told me?
The policy that you stole the money, that you took the money to pay for.
The insurance policy.
Oh,
You hustling. What's that?
She said that one of the policies that she had in 2014, she said that was collapsed, and now she has burial insurance. How'd she get that?
Your Honor,
Yes.
could you look at page 20?
What is it showing me?
It's showing you that my
And this is not a policy.
No,
Anything
no.
else? I asked you for a
Oh,
policy, ma'am. I'm not going to keep doing this.
Okay, here's the
You gave
policy.
me some handwritten note from somebody
Page 3.
saying to whom it may concern.
Page,
The last chance, ma'am. This is it.
page 3 of the policy.
This is your life insurance policy. All your important papers are here. $80 a month. Whole life benefit, $10,000. Doesn't show the beneficiary.
Okay, page 4.
Has the beneficiary on there?
Page 4.
You read where it
But
says
pa-
the beneficiary.
No, it don't, but the policy.
Ma'am, show me something that has beneficiary on it, not the front page. I need the most important part of a policy. Who is the beneficiary? You left that out. You didn't give it to me. Is there a reason that you're withholding the most important part?
No,
Okay,
sir.
there's no reason.
Defendant Mary Corbett and her husband William are being sued by their niece, who claims Mary stole stimulus money from her ailing father.
Your claim fails because you don't have the evidence that is needed, and you have admitted that you took $3,200 of her father's money and used it on insurance policy that you should have gotten approval from her for, because that is a purchase of business affairs and she has authority over that. You just received the money. You were to go to her and you did not. And you are here today giving me testimony that is unreasonable and doesn't sound true.
Okay.
So therefore, I'm going to dismiss your claim and I'm going to grant yours. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you. But I really want to know why you did this to me. Like, you know I was taking care of my dad, and you standing over there laughing for what? What are you here for?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you. Why are you here?
One, I love you too.
No, you don't. You couldn't. You did me.
I love you.
I take care of your brother.
You didn't.
I was taking care of your brother. It's okay.
One of you ought to quit it.
You got God. You got God to answer to.
I mean, you ought to cut it out.